welcome to our panel. We are Scoundrels Inc. We are three best friends that just love talking about Star Wars. And Star Wars is the only thing really that keeps us together in any capacity. My name is Brandon Hanna. This is Kevin Smets.
Hi.
We also have Frank Janish here.
Hello.
And we used to be a part of this little thing called the Movie Trivia Schmodown. I don't know if anybody in the crowd is familiar. Maybe not. We used to do trivia. It was weird.
If talking Star Wars is geeky, movie trivia, competitive movie trivia was very competitive.
Yeah, he played a character where he smashed people and he's angry all the time.
Yeah.
I'm a good guy. But no, it's great.
A programming note: the program actually listed the wrong time for this show. There was over 400 people here about 2 hours ago for our show, but we were nowhere to be found. So we appreciate you guys, calling the audible and coming here for the second showing.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
I feel bad for all those 450 people that missed it.
Yeah.
What was it? How many did? So when you submitted this, it was a side story. There's no one from the Comic-Con here.
There's no official.
Yeah. My friend Brandon here decided on one day, he's like, hey, I submitted this to now we're a slow movie beginning Star Wars podcast, so we're slowly building. And he's like, hey, I submitted to the LA Comic-Con, and we were kind of all laughing. He was like, yeah, and he was like, oh yeah, what did he's like, we got in.
Like, yeah. What? Well, at first he asked us, I thought it was like a joke, and then I was like, sure, yeah, we'll never get approved. And then lo and behold, here we are.
And then we said, what did you put on the actual application? How many people were you expecting? And Brandon, what did you say?
I said about 150 to 300 people.
So give or take.
Yeah, give or take.
So you but you know what? I'm sorry if Frodo's around. I apologize, but we're beating Frodo right now. We had 10 people. It is. We have at least 12.
Listen,
maybe 13.
The great George Costanza once said, "It's not a lie if you believe it."
That's right.
Good old George.
Thanks for coming.
The older George we like. Thank you for coming. I feel like, are our mics too close together? There's some feedback going on.
Any chance I can sit farther away from you, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm going to go over here.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that better? Is that worse?
You've never go broadcast before?
No. That does sound a little better, maybe. Testing. 1, 2. I was a Jedi Knight Sailor's your father.
Yes.
Yes, he was. So that's our show, everybody. Thank you. We, as I said, we used to do this show, and it ended, sadly. And we wanted a way to still hang out. You know, most friends, they go to the movies, grab dinner. We don't do those things.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we get dinner.
The only time we talk is if it's in front of a microphone. I think it's the starting foundation for most healthy friendships.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So here we are. Yeah. We really wanted our show to be like a Star Wars lifestyle type of podcast where it's just all about how we consume Star Wars in our daily lives, how it honestly, maybe too much consumes our identities as human beings.
Influences, I like to think influences our life in various ways through the stories that we consume through Star Wars. Yeah.
It's like midi-chlorians in that way.
Yeah.
I think our aim, though, was to really bring personal stories into it. One of my favorite shows, if you guys have not been familiar with our podcast, we do retrospectives of all the movies, and we did one for The Phantom Menace, which I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
The first half of that whole podcast, we're just talking about what the atmosphere was as far as when I was younger, and all we had were the books. And then all of a sudden to hear that the Phantom Menace was coming out, and the opening weekend, I was living in San Diego at the time. So we go into personal stories. We think that Star Wars is about friends and family and personal stories, and I think that's what I really love about our podcast. We'll just sit there and we might ramble on for a long time, but we're kind of just opening up our lives too.
And I have a really early Star Wars memory with Brandon. I always tell it all the time just because I beat him at Star Wars Trilogy Pursuit because he missed the TC-14 question.
TC-14.
And that was really kind of the genesis, I think, of our bonding through Star Wars was that because I came over to your place for some reason and we're trying to kill time. And he just busted out Star Wars Trilogy Pursuit. And I had played this game all my childhood, so I knew every question. So I was like, "You're toast, Brandon." But then we went toe to toe for 20 something odd questions. Didn't miss either question. We ran through the cards, and then you get to this. What was it? Did you say TC-13? I think, or
I don't even think I even remotely knew the name of this droid.
Okay, maybe I'm giving you too much credit.
You know the beginning of Phantom Menace, that silvery protocol droid that brings your tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's TC-14. And that was the question.
You didn't get it.
I did not get it.
I knew it.
I thought to myself, finally, after years of losing in movie trivia, I finally get a chance to win. And Frank,
I got him.
He knew it too.
I did.
That's crazy.
That was fun for me.
Yeah. For you. But we also thought it would be fun today to kind of in theme of Star Wars and friendship and how it keeps people together, talk about some of our favorite friendship duos in Star Wars. And we'd love to get some, input from the people in the crowd. So feel free to play along with us. Kevin's looking very serious right now.
It's a very serious business. But we want you guys to be involved too. What we've been doing lately is we've been doing our rankings of top space battles, the first opening line, best opening crawl, best first word of the crawl, best last sentence of the crawl. We're really milking it in between these shows. So we're gonna do that. But before we get that, we wanted to talk a little bit about friendship too, how that's the name of our panel. What is it called? Celebrate the Love.
That was right. Come on.
I don't even know the name of my own panel.
That was a deep cut Ewok reference.
Yeah. So my story will be a little different from theirs. So I also, and it's the kind of running gag on my show, but I do KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic movies. Machinima movies, I've been doing it for 10 years. The channel has had millions of views, and the videos we use the technology from the game, KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, and I have these guys, they're magicians, and they craft the movies out of these games. We tell new stories, we tell the game as a movie. So how that relates to friendship with me is being in that community and releasing these movies through the years. I have friends from all over the world. There's a big fan from Ukraine right now. There's a big fan from Cambodia. Star Wars brings people together, not just how we knew each other from the Schmodown and we continued it on, but I'm sure everybody in this room probably has friends online or friends from in this space that love Star Wars and you share it too. So I always think that that's a really cool thing that even through this silly video game movie that I do based on Knights of the Old Republic, which is badass, by the way, you should see it, that friends can come together for that. And these two individuals haven't seen my movie yet because they hate me.
They don't let us.
I was promised we would watch together and you would buy me wings.
Yeah, I have to buy the mixture to do it. So that's one aspect of the friendship that I think is interesting in the Star Wars fandom. And then, of course, when you see Celebration and the shared experiences, I still get goosebumps when I see that video of Chewie, we're home, and everybody's cheering, the Celebration video, and you can't not. I'm getting goosebumps right now. I always get goosebumps on every episode. I'm getting goosebumps right now, but those moments, and even there's a video floating around, you can find it, where they rewatched the Phantom Menace trailer at Celebration a couple years ago, and just the crowd, like I said, it's Celebrate the Love, and it's just cool to be around like-minded people, that love Star Wars as well, and that's how you have a new friend. I've seen friends, I've seen new people here, so it's great. That's all I have to say about that.
What about you, Frank?
I will say that I have a lot of friendships that I don't necessarily keep in contact with all the time, and sometimes months or maybe even a year or two goes by where I haven't talked to a particular friend, but I know that in order to strike up a conversation, I can just send him a Star Wars meme or hey, did you hear the news? And we can just pick up like nothing, nothing happened. And so I think for that way, it helps me personally to maintain friendships or to keep in contact with some people that share the same love for Star Wars that I do, even though we may not talk all the time. I have a good friend of mine back home who I've known for almost all my life. We went to grade school and high school together. He's still back in Chicago area and I'm out here. And so we don't talk as often as much, but anytime there's some news or something comes out or did you watch this episode, we may not, always talk all the time, but that's kind of the spark of did you see that latest episode of Ahsoka? What'd you think? Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, I got this new job and now I'm oh yeah, I'm going over here. And so it just kind of reignites, an old, conversation we would have had, long ago or whatnot. So I think for me, that's been one of the most beneficial parts about being a fan of Star Wars is being able to connect with people through the stories that we love and reigniting, friendships that may not always be, current or, talking all the time. So I love that aspect.
Oh, hey, Frank, how you doing? Oh, man, I just lost my job. But, dude, did you see the Ahsoka trailer?
If I want to take my mind off of
Dude,
yeah.
Anakin says snips.
That was crazy, dude, when he said snips.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a friend similar to that back from the East Coast. Shout out my buddy Justin Forrester. I know you're watching.
Is he?
He might be. We'll find out. I'll get a DM in a few days if he's seen it. But he always messages me. You guys are going to kick out of this. He's always like, "Have you seen Rebels yet? How far along are you on watching Rebels? Which season are you on?
This man
Is
hasn't
this
seen
episode
Rebels
yet?" All the time, and I'm just like, "No, not yet." I've seen the highlights. Okay, I've seen like the first 5
That's
episodes.
like saying I've seen the highlights
seen all
of the
the-
Godfather
I've
trilogy.
seen all the Darth
We've all
Maul
watched the Godfather trilogy.
episodes. Okay. Some good stuff. I'm just a busy guy. I'm too busy talking to these clowns.
Yeah.
But no, he's always, messaging me about that. He came to visit like a few months ago, and first thing out of his mouth, he's like, "Dude, I have to talk to you about Star Wars, man. I got to get your thoughts on The Mandalorian." It's like, "Oh, what are they doing? What's your thoughts on the sequel trilogy? Oh, man, have you seen Andor?" I'm like, "Oh, my God. Oh, like I talk about Star Wars all the time. I just want to know how your life is, man." But no, it's fun. So, yeah, it keeps friendships alive, which is why we're here.
Well, I'm glad you haven't seen Rebels, because if you guys watched any of our episodes where we're recapping the episodes of like Ahsoka and Mandalorian, he's watching it on the drive over to where we were recording. So, and not traffic, like freeway. So,
Listen, I used to come
not safe.
a long commute to Frank's house from work to record the podcast. And I watched the show the way Tony Gilroy intended on my iPhone on the 405.
That's right.
And you know what? It's one of my favorite shows of all time. So,
Wait till you see it on the bigger screen. You're gonna love it.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You're going to be like, it's like an IMAX movie.
Bring a defibrillator. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, Frank. I just got lost.
I know
in
you
my
got that
eyes.
Boss Nass right there.
Yes. So, what was it? Did we say that Boss Nass and Jar Jar would be a dynamic duo in Star Wars?
I feel like their relationship is a little more contentious.
Yeah, more like a
Well,
work.
I feel like he made him Bombad General because he wanted Jar Jar to go out there and die.
He crashed into his name.
Right.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, it was like a.
Oh, why don't you go to the front lines, Jar Jar? Yeah, right there, right? You just lead the charge.
It was like a joke on the podcast like a few episodes ago. I don't even know how I found this. It's incredible. I love it. I got it on eBay. It's vintage. It still has the tag from 1999 on it. I'm never taking it off
You should put it on right now.
right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The best part, because then it will muffle your voice.
Let's see how much your mom is.
Well, you gotta do his voice now too.
Sunlight. Wow, Boss Nass is right here. This is crazy.
Who needs CGI, you guys? We're changing the name of this panel. It's called Practical Over CGI, the benefits.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Could you imagine if this dude shows up in Andor? This man and Saul Guerrero having a conversation?
How is that the same species as Jar Jar? You look nothing like Jar Jar. Is that what Jar Jar looks like when he gets older?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. My ears are tied up like a ponytail
Yes,
in the back of my head.
That must hurt.
But no, yeah, this thing's awesome.
He was really excited about this mask.
Yeah, he was. What really blows me away is that in 1999, when this movie came out, there were a bunch of executives somewhere that said this Boss Nass guy is going to be a huge hit. And they mass produced these. They made thousands, at least.
Wow, the Brian Blessed hate, man.
All these, no hate against the actor. I love this character, man.
My daughter loves that part.
That was pretty good. I used to be really good at that, but now it gives me headaches.
Well, it gave me a headache just now because I forgot I'm hungover. So
That is unfortunately
my
true.
brain is jostling around. Yeah, I decided to treat LA Comic Con like I was in Vegas last night, but I'm okay. I saw a Laker game. LeBron James looks like a superhero in real life, and saw some Star Wars cosplay there. That was kind of sad.
Yeah.
Not on the court. That would be
Me and Frank weren't in it, but it's fine.
No, yeah, I was invited.
because I'm hanging out with you guys right now for the next 35 minutes.
That's it?
We got on the time.
We got.
Wow, you nailed that.
Did I really?
Yeah, it was like 34 and 50 seconds.
Moving on. So now our next portion of the show, we're going to get you guys involved. Now, we have a list of our own, so if you guys fail me for the last time, I will read some of these off to you. But what we're going to do is we're going to craft our own top 5. Usually we do top 10 or top 9, but we don't have 4 hours. So we're going to do a top 5 of the duos. And we're not just thinking of like dynamic duos like Batman and Robin. We're talking like friendship duos. There's a couple here that I think arguments could be made that, yeah, they're a good duo, like as business partners would be, right? But maybe they're not like the best of friends. Like Anakin was kind of a dick to Obi-Wan. Sorry. So we can get into that later. Sorry. So, if you guys want to start, just think, it can be anything. I mean, we got some weird ones here, so don't be shy. If anybody has any duos, their favorite friendships. Who do you, I think if we all were to say right now, collectively, this is going to backfire horribly. If we as a group right now, all 10 of us, if we say what you think the number one duo in Star Wars is, friendship duo, what would we say all at once? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Han
and Chewie.
See, we got yeah. What did he say? 3PO and R2.
Yeah, that would be right up there on the top. That's on Rushmore too.
I was thinking more like Rio Durand and all the Minox he roasted on Ardinia.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's a solo reference.
Yeah.
I feel like Leia and Wicket is one of my favorite friendships.
That's good.
Here's why. Because Wicket, first of all, where did she get all those clothes that were like to her, right? Do they have tailors there? Or did they murder other human beings that were right? But Wicket chose not to murder Leia. So the fact that they did not eat her, I think shows their good friendship.
Yeah. Yeah, I love when my friends don't eat me as well.
Yeah.
That's how I knew I was friends with you guys. After like day 3 or 4 and I still wasn't eating.
Yeah.
That's how I knew.
So, anybody want to shout out like a weird one? Like someone that like you always loved as like a duo that maybe wouldn't be in the top 5? Because obviously, as we said, we all said Han and Chewie, we say R2 and 3PO. What are some ones that you think would be on this list? Because we got a couple good ones. Anyone? Bueller?
Obi-Wan and that nest of Gundarks he fell into.
I think you're missing the points. Friendship.
Yeah. Hey,
Friendship.
he fell into that nightmare master, and I rescued him.
Yes.
That's right. Doesn't count.
All right.
Okay, well, why don't we start going through our list then? We got some shy ones here, but
I was going to say, you put Luke and Biggs, which is an interesting one.
Luke and Biggs?
They were best friends. That's like, Luke and Biggs is like a high school best friends, and then you like go off to college, and you go to different schools, you kind of drift apart, and then like one dies in combat.
Yeah. Wow, you're bringing a lot of dark memories.
Really
Dark
dark.
classmates, wow.
Do you think Luke and Biggs like fought over the same girl, like at the Imperial dance?
But you remember that deleted scene? That deleted scene, if like when it has
With Cammy?
Yeah, right.
Well, that Cammy was with the other big dude.
I like to think they fought over her.
Oh man, bad it is now. What are the names? The big guy. Anyone?
Big guy?
Tank. No, not Tank. We got the deleted scene in A New Hope when Cammy's dating, and then they show up in The Mandalorian. Or in Book of Boba Fett. They were in that little cantina.
Fixer?
Fixer, there it is. There it is.
Wow.
Fixer.
Nice. There you go.
This guy was
Star Wars
destroyed us.
Star Wars podcast, and none of the 3 hosts.
I usually just look up the stuff. You know, that's how I do
To be
it.
fair, it is a deleted scene, and I haven't even watched
So
it.
he's not canon?
Yeah.
No. But that's why when you put Luke and Biggs on there, I was like, oh, from like obviously the deleted scene fleshes out more of their friendship, and because you're right, because like if you just met up with your buddy and then like you go off to like a battle and war, and then he dies, you're just like, that's all he did.
What?
Which was funny. It was funny.
Because he was busy trying to destroy the Death Star. What is he going to
But, like,
stop
he
and
didn't
pull
see Biggs
over and
how
like
long?
cry?
He was bragging to Biggs like I finally made it, and then Biggs dies. Like, that's
Yeah, what a dick.
Meanwhile, Luke is just like, I used to shoot swamp rats in my T-16. This is easy, dude.
see, this is the
Yeah,
kind
what
of
a-
nerdy
yeah.
crap we talk about all the time, and you're just literally listening to us on our text thread. This is the stuff we talk about.
Welcome to a live reading of our text thread.
This is
Obi-Wan and Dexter Jettster.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Now, did you finally read the follow-up about Dexter?
I did read it, and then I kind of forgot because it was a while ago.
It's a short story. How can you forget a short story?
Because it was a long time ago. It was like
The galaxy
far, far away. Did you read it?
No.
No, you didn't.
They were good buddies, though. Because, like, you know, he goes, Obi-Wan!
Well, in that story, Dexter felt like guilty about telling Obi-Wan this information about Camino and all that stuff. And so
blames
like,
himself for the
he kind of like blames himself, or he feels that blame for like the Clone War and all that and everything that it brought with it. If I'm remembering correctly, there's a little more to it, but I thought it was like a really interesting take on Dexter's story after Attack of the Clones, and I think Obi-Wan could have just popped in and should have been like, hey, it's not really your fault. It's like, you know, Yoda burned all the clones, and then Palpatine, and like explain to Dexter.
At the time of Return of the Jedi, Obi-Wan was busy being dead.
Force Ghost, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. Force Ghost is going to appear all the time to everyone.
Well, you know, he said on the wall, he can show up.
Obi-Wan! He tries to hug him, and then his arms go through the ghost.
I don't know, dude. Force Ghosts can sit on logs. They can walk on the ground. They can shoot lightning at things.
They can grab lightsabers.
They can grab. Oh, you're right. They can grab lightsabers.
Oh, he could have talked to Dexter. He could have. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you could give him a little back scratch.
Here's one that I love. This is the Lando and Lobot.
Yes.
Come on. You can have that guy as the trusty.
Well, that's kind of like mind control. You know, Lando just goes, go over there. It's like kind of a controlling.
Because they finish each other's. No, that didn't.
That is like a toxic relationship, actually. Now that I think about it.
You're very negative about these friendships.
Yeah.
It's called celebrate the love.
I'm just saying. I think they should like. I don't think they should like break up, but like maybe go to like some sort of like friendship couples counselor or something.
It's certainly possible.
Wait, who would be their therapist? Who would be their therapist?
Clearly, Newt Gunray, as I just did an impression of.
Newt Gunray would be the therapist?
I think so. Obviously, before his, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's already. Okay, I don't
Think about it.
Here we go. So, if we were ranking our top right now, we've thrown out Han and Chewie. We got 3PO and R2. I think that would be second place, right? 3PO and R2, because they're robots. They don't really love
I don't
each
know.
other.
Whoa.
And B2EMO
Okay,
is a
alright.
stupid droid.
All right.
B2EMO, look, I have a
There was a
I'm
whole-
going to go off it right
There was
now.
a whole arc in the
If I get a
Mandalorian
coffee
about
machine, make my coffee. Don't cry over Marva. Clean the damn room. Don't slow down and be like, I miss Marva. Do your thing. I have a Roomba. The Roomba scares my daughter to death. But the Roomba does its job and runs around and cleans everything up. If it were to stop and be like, oh, I miss Marva, it would drive me nuts.
But he misses Marva.
When B2EMO got kicked over, I fist pumped. Sorry.
Okay.
I got pitch safe.
B2
Hero.
is a hero.
He's a hero. Prime.
Yeah, I think B2 and Cassian, or
you gotta do
B2 and Cassian, or Cassian and K2.
Yeah,
You gotta do
K2
K2
is so.
I think so.
Yeah, K2. That's a stronger bond, I think. Even though we have yet to see its like origins, but you know, it's enough. Rogue One is enough. You see it all.
I don't know. I think I kind of favor B2 and Cassian than K2 and Cassian.
I don't know, because like K2, they like got the wittier banter back and forth. You know, and he's like, I should have just stayed on the ship while he's like massacring stormtroopers.
Maybe. I don't know. That's, you know, you can have that one. You can have that one.
Yeah, they're buds.
Palpatine and Mas Amedda.
Yeah, what's that friend?
They're pals. Well, come on, they're friends.
Are they?
Of course they are. Yeah, he's in on it from the very beginning, right? There's a Riddler walking by right now. That's awesome. I feel, does Palpatine have any friends?
Palpatine?
Yeah, how about those old guys?
Masameda
Those old guys.
and
The bald girl? Slice noodles? No,
Sly Moore.
Sly Moore.
Yeah.
Leave us. But he's not really nice to them. He's always
Sly
saying
Moore
leave us.
was friends with Mon Mothma's husband, right?
She was going to be invited, but we didn't get to see her on the show. That would have been a cool cameo.
Yeah. What if they all gambled together?
Has anybody ever read the Plagueis novel? I'm a big stan for the Plagueis novel.
Oh, good. Back. in the back.
Let me tell you, it is so good. I highly recommend it. It's not canon anymore, but it can be your canon. Just because it's Legends, you can have your own canon. Let me tell you, that novel is fantastic, and it gets into his origins and how. I don't want to get too into it, but what the fun thing is what you don't realize is it takes place. The second part of the book, or the last 3 chapters or so the last 4 chapters, takes place during the Phantom Menace. So Plagueis, Palpatine's master, did I say that right, Jimmy? His master is alive during the Phantom Menace, which is crazy. And it's very Back to the Future 2 style, where things are happening off to the side in the Phantom Menace that they referenced. That, like, when you see the Phantom Menace after reading the novel, you're like, oh my god, that guy's like right there. Like when Qui-Gon's talking about the midichlorians to little Annie, Plagueis is literally on like a tower, like looking down, like, what? Who the hell is that kid? Why is that Jedi talking to the kid? It's really good stuff. So highly recommend it. Sorry. Sidebar. Done.
Do you think that Plagueis and that guy from Attack of the Clones, that was like, the banking clan has your support, Count Dooku? Do you think they were buddies?
Well, yeah. Obviously, they're from the same planet.
Yeah. Small planet.
Yeah, if you live in the same area, you're probably buddies. At least you know each other.
The banking clan's pretty tight.
Yeah, the banking clan, they have like retreats that they go. They go to Andor and do like swinging and
it's not
rope
the
challenges.
Union Army, but
yeah, absolutely. All right, you throw some. Ooh, I got a good one, but we'll go to you guys.
You wrote down here Din and Grogu, which is interesting because I never thought of them as, I think of them more as like parent-child,
Probably
as opposed to like buddies.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm best friends with my cat.
Oh.
That is also my son,
Okay.
my baby boy.
Clem.
He needs his father. He's named Clem after Cassian Andor's father, Clem Andor.
Yeah. Is that true?
No.
No.
His name is Clementine, but we cut it to Clem.
And your canon.
My canon,
Your canon.
which is canon to me, along with my Boss Nass fan fiction,
Yep.
is it's real to me.
Anakin and Kitster.
Yes.
Whatever happened to Kitster, right? That guy was.
I feel like
They mentioned it in the comics.
Yeah, there's like a canon.
But you just wanted. Remember when
resurgence of Kitster?
everybody gets all excited? I just love when there's like the fantasy booking, like when everybody thought that Benicio del Toro was going to be Ezra, but like bad. When The Last Jedi was like in production and stuff like that. So I wonder if like I don't remember like in '99 leading up into 2002, like during the Attack of the Clones build, if people were like, "Wonder if Kitster's going to come back, man." You know, we'll see.
Yeah, that would have been really wizard.
Great job, Brandon.
How come
nobody
says wizard?
Literally, someone laughed after you said that joke, Brandon. Literally, the guy's walking away. I'm not trying to call you out, but he did walk away. So. Okay.
Not very wizard of him.
Yeah, not very wizard of him. Han and Lando. Now, this is what. It's Han.
Han.
I think that that's a good one too. Sometimes the best friendships start a little. You know, I hated these guys.
Contentious,
yeah. Can't stand them still, but sometimes the best friendships start out of contention. And these two, he had his back. Like, well, he kind of screwed him over, and eventually it was the reason why he got frozen in carbonite. But he did go and rescue him later. So, what do you guys think about Han and Lando? Han and Lando. Hello, Han and Lando. We're going to Confed Festival.
They must have been good friends because they do share clothes.
That's right, they do.
You watch the end of Empire Strikes Back. Han is all of a sudden, or Lando's all of a sudden wearing Han's clothes.
Yeah. So it begs the question: were those Lando's original clothes?
Like they were just like from that closet.
Yeah, from that closet, and like Han just like, I'm gonna wear this.
Maybe.
And then Lando's like, well, you're frozen. I'm gonna get my clothes back and my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he knew the carbonite. He knew it. He's like, he let that happen.
Maybe they're more like frenemies.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm
Frenemies. Yeah, it's always good to have a
I'm
good
frenemies
friend.
with Kevin.
Yeah. I hate you, Frank.
I love you.
I know.
See, that's what we do.
Mason Yoda. So some of these we have Obi-Wan and Anakin. We have Anakin and Ahsoka. And that again, it gets money there because they're like the master and apprentice, right? But one that when I wrote it down, Mace and Yoda, like they're always hanging out, right? Yoda's having a conniption fit about Anakin slaughtering Tuscans. By the way, the Attack of the Clones novelization of that scene of the Tuscans is brutal. In The Phantom Menace, when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn run away and do the super speed, and in 1999, we're like, oh my god, that's awesome. We're going to see so much of that. And it never happens again in the trilogy. In the novel, when all of the kids and women are running away, Anakin does super speed and stabs them in the back.
This is very sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Very tragic.
But
they were not friends. Yeah, definitely not.
Mace and Yoda, though, I feel like they they would go to the game together, like catch a pod race. But what do you guys think about the Mace and Yoda dynamic?
It's an interesting dynamic because they're I feel like they're very close work friends, and they kind of they're almost like a little clique. Like they single everybody else out. Right? It'll just be the two of them talking.
It's just fun.
And just the two of them will have a conversation about something really important in front of the entire council.
I'm right here.
And they'll just be like, the council has made its decision. And everybody else is like, we didn't even get a vote. Yeah, Jarl Poof
Yes.
is what the hell?
That's right.
Jarl Poof.
Jarl Poof. He should have been the chosen one.
Maybe he is.
Maybe Jarl Poof.
But we'll never know because Mace Windu ends the meeting before they get
The
this
guy would be super long.
I wish he talked like this. That would have been better.
Yeah.
Does he talk at all?
No. Except
Well,
Robot Chicken.
in that, what did he do? Did he talk in that one show?
The Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Do the voice. You do it good.
Iconic.
Come on, don't be the.
You're the voice guy.
I thought you were making eye contact with Frank.
No, you. Don't be the Warner. I hate that.
So yeah, he does this. He goes, oh, so it's a council now? It's not just the two of you?
That's a really good point. All right. Rey and Finn. And that happened when Rey kissed his forehead, and poor Finn was unconscious and like, oh, I didn't want you to kiss me on the forehead. He was bummed. I think he got put in the friendship zone there. Now, I don't know what that, I do like the sequel trilogy. A lot of people do not like the sequel trilogy. I don't know what, the original thread line was going to be, where they were going to end up, but they end up being pretty good pals, and as does Poe and Finn. What do you guys think of those dynamics in the sequel trilogy with Finn and Poe, and then Rey and Finn? I love Rey and Finn together as friends. Like, I don't think that every time a male and a female get together, they need to be, star-crossed lovers. I think it's cool that you can have a platonic friendship that means something. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we get there's a good dynamic there in the sequel trilogy, especially I even Rose, her introduction, her coming in and she has a crush on Finn, but it doesn't affect their ability to be friends, and you kind of see the same thing with Finn and Rey, and it's just just real life. And Poe, his bromance with Finn, that lip bite, Force Awakens, what's going on there? He's like, you look good in that jacket. It's
I knew you were gonna. That's funny. I knew you were gonna bring up the lip bite.
how could you not? How could you not bring up the lip bite?
Well, it's a nice moment.
J.J. Abrams looked at the dailies, and he was like, yes, that's staying in. Intentional.
Think also how Finn got put in the friendship zone. Remember how badly Rose got put in the friendship zone in The Rise of Skywalker, when she's like, oh, I want to go with you. And she's like, no, you're going to stay back behind and do those plans or whatever. And it's pats her on the back, and then that's it. That's the end of their thread line too. I was kind of bummed about that because I like Rose.
Are you trying to give me another Rise of Skywalker rant?
Oh, come on, you love that movie.
You want to see a really fired up Brandon? You can find our Rise of Skywalker episode. Brandon was a completely different person. I
don't know what came over him.
I don't know. It really shocked me that day. It was fun though. It was fun.
Yeah. We try to be very positive about all things Star Wars.
Yeah. Except B2EMO.
All right, it sucks. Come on. I will say about Finn and Poe, that first
also share clothes, by the way.
I was just gonna say they do share the jacket, obviously. So they have that going, but also the scene when they're in the TIE fighter, they're escaping, right, heading down to Jakku. It does remind me. It reminded me of the story that I want to tell about Kevin when we went to Galaxy's Edge, and we went on Smuggler's Run, and not a whole lot of people were in the line at this point.
Oh, we're gonna go there now. We're gonna go there.
So-
I did not know that little boy was there. Wait, that sounds bad. Let me correct. Kevin, you go on the thing, and then they give you these cards, and you're assigned to be like pilots or whatever. And I was like, Frank's first time on the ride. I'd been on the ride before. I was like, Frank, you got to be a pilot. I want my best friend to pull the thing to go to hyperspace. That's what you want for your best friend. Speaking of friends, so we're on the thing. I'm unaware that like they give us our cards or whatever. And they were like, all right, blue cards. And then I walked up and I didn't see this little boy standing next to me. And I was like, oh yeah, we're the pilots. And then the little boy looked up like, I thought I was going to be the pilot.
And I said,
no.
I was like, bro.
Threw him out of the cargo hole. But so because we messed that up, and then we're like, well, I was like, I want Frank to be the pilot. You got to be the pilot. So they're like, all right. And this guy probably hated us. So he let the little boy go with his kid, with his family or whatever. And so we had the next one. But because that awkward thing where like they messed up with giving the cards or the assignments, when we got into the cockpit, we were just waiting for all the other people. You know, you go on that ride, it's fun. But then when there's like a grandparent behind you that's just like pressing the buttons and not doing it, you're like, there's no one doing it. We go on and all of a sudden it's just me and the ride starts, and I look over at Frank, and it's just the two of us.
Just two of us.
Han and Chewie style.
It was pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. It was freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was the greatest moment of my life, outside of the birth of my child.
Are you sure?
It's like it's just every time I recount it, I have to think
It
about it.
depends which one of you got to punch it.
Oh, I let him do it, man.
Yeah,
I'm a good friend.
Absolutely. You had to punch it. I had to punch it. It was my first ride. The first time.
Doesn't that insinuate that you would be the Chewbacca in this friendship?
I'm okay with that. Chewie's pretty sweet.
What does that make me?
You
L337. You're in the Navicomputer now. You're in the Navicomputer.
Turn left at this solar system.
Right. My favorite time during by the way, with 3PO, Waze. You guys have Waze where you can see the directions? The most glorious time ever was when Waze had 3PO giving you the directions. It was during one of the Star Wars movies. And it was really fun because it would be 3PO and you'd get to your destination. And then they had one with, not to be non-Star Wars, but they had a Sly Stallone one based on Terminator. And whenever there was an obstacle on the road,
Wow.
Stallone. I'm sorry. Hungover, really.
Schwarzenegger.
I don't know if he's talking about Terminator or Rocky.
If there was an obstacle ahead, he would. So all of it would be like turn left. I'm a bad impersonation, so it's like turn left, turn right. But if there's an obstacle ahead, for some reason he'd shout, "Get down!" like really loud. And I was dating a girl at the time, and we were driving home from seeing the Terminator. And I was like, "Let's put on the Schwarzenegger thing." And we're driving, and in the road, it was like, car, whatever, when there's a car, an obstacle ahead, and he shouts, "Get down!" And she, swerved the car, and we almost got in an accident. So that's my side story about Waze that you guys all came here for.
That's crazy.
I've heard this story a lot.
First he's mixing up
Are we running
Stallone
out of
and Schwarzenegger, and next he's probably going to say how great Eric Stoltz was in Back to the Future.
Oh, he was fantastic.
All right. So, Kevin,
Yes, sir.
what else you got on your list?
Well, I was going to say, if you guys were thinking on the same lines that I was thinking about, what do you guys think about the Master and Apprentice when you're talking about Obi-Wan and Anakin? Like, they're brothers, obviously. You were my brother. And Anakin even says, "Oh, he's like a father to me."
Yeah.
And they are best friends, right? But they kind of have a bad falling out, obviously, as you do.
That's worse.
But their friendship was so fueled, and his love for Anakin was so strong that he would not kill him, even when he had another chance to do it in the Obi-Wan show. So that is a strong bond. That is a strong friendship. For me, it's just difficult because, they're also the Master and Apprentice. They're kind of, in Obi-Wan. Well, Obi-Wan in Phantom Menace is kind of a jerk. He's like, remember when he's like, "Oh, let me guess, we're gonna pick up another pathetic life form."
Yeah.
Why is he giving that hate to Jar Jar? And now he's calling this, "Oh, let me guess, another pathetic life form." And so he didn't want Anakin. He was bummed that Qui-Gon died, but he was also like, he gave me I gotta raise this kid now. No one wants to do that after their friend dies.
The plus side, he did not have to do the Jedi trials because he
Slice Darth Maul.
Right, because Yoda unilaterally made that decision without the council.
Yeah, you ever done like really, really good in a class and then you didn't have to take the final exam? You know,
That's never happened for me.
No.
No? All right.
What school did you go to?
That's what Obi-Wan did. I'm just saying, like, you know, silver linings.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't have, Kevin, I'm surprised you didn't have, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. Because I know you're a big Qui-Gon fan.
Big Qui-Gon. Any Qui-Gon fans in here?
Woo!
No, she didn't like Qui-Gon. I caught that shade. What's wrong with Qui-Gon?
Nothing.
There is a funny video on YouTube you could find where it says Qui-Gon worst Jedi ever, and it's the Cantina theme, and it just shows all his blunders. Like, I don't sense anything, and when there's like a blooper and then he gets killed. It's really funny. But Qui-Gon's great. He has that accent, and he's just so wise and sagely.
Sagely.
Yeah.
Word. He smells like sage.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, you know, like a herb.
But again, and then you have Dooku and Qui-Gon too. And in fact, when in Attack of the Clones, he said, I wish that Qui-Gon were here now. And that leads me to believe he thinks that Qui-Gon would have gone with him to support the Separatists. What say you?
Because Qui-Gon, believe it or not, actually also hated Yaddle. So,
Really?
yeah. I don't know if you know about what happened between
Some of the Yaddle hate, man.
Dooku and Yaddle. Not pretty. Do you think he would approve of that?
Nope.
No. What about you?
What? Wait, what are you talking about?
We're off the rails.
Yeah. Try not to spoil things entirely for people who haven't seen Tales of the Jedi.
Are you talking about when Dooku and Yaddle fight? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things go down.
Yeah.
Not in Yaddle's favor.
No, that's correct. Yeah, I mean, right.
Here's another good
What
one.
did you say they have a, yeah.
So you think Qui-Gon would have approved of that?
No,
No.
I don't think so. No.
Is this an Abbott and Costello routine? Who's on first? That's an old reference. I'm sorry. I'm an older man. Anakin and Ahsoka.
That's a good one.
Great one.
That is a good one.
I like that better than Anakin Obi-Wan.
Well, yeah, because, Ahsoka didn't kill Anakin. So that's one vote. Right?
Yeah, but, also Obi-Wan and Anakin didn't have, like, cute nicknames.
Well, it's again another. He didn't want it. If you see the Clone Wars movie, great movie. How many times have you seen that? Many times, right? He thought it was a joke. He's like, oh no, I'm good, better on my own, And then they have that trial through the fire, and then he's like, you might have never made it as Obi-Wan's apprentice, but you might make it as mine. And that's like the first moment where they have that friendship, and it's really cool that we got to see that friendship in live action afterwards.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, even though it was more of a learning lesson, it wasn't like a happy time necessarily, but it was cool to see that interaction in live action, just with Hayden, playing that role, and Ariana Greenblatt, right, is her name, playing Ahsoka. So you got it. And so it's interesting when your friends teach you lessons or help you out in life. Certainly Kevin's helped me out a lot, when I first got to LA.
Oh, thanks, Tom. I didn't know if you were about to make a joke about me.
Yeah, remember you guys got Slurpees without me?
Yeah. Did
Sorry,
you
man.
DoorDash?
You're still not over that.
Yeah, DoorDash it.
I love
That was
Slurpees.
crazy. But yeah, so
It's off the rails. I love it.
with Anakin and Ahsoka, I think that's probably my favorite relationship or friendship in all of Star Wars. I think because there's like a lot of love, but it's also they do butt heads a lot, and I think with some of your best friends, you do butt heads a lot, but then you don't walk away from them after you have like a fight. It's just you had a disagreement or you saw things differently or something. You canceled plans or whatever, but you always still find your way back to them because there's this a bond and a connection that you're not willing to throw away because you know that there's going to be good things down the road, even more better memories and whatnot. So the fact that I think with Anakin and Ahsoka is like that, translates well into, I guess, real life. And I think that's why it hits more for me. So
Yeah, and also sometimes you're in the middle of a fight with your friend and one of you gets sucked into a portal into like some weird alternate dimension, which has happened to me and Kevin on a number of occasions.
All the time.
Yeah. We found our way home. I think we've got about 5-ish minutes left here.
I think before, as we wrap up, I do want to talk about, we kind of glazed over the top 2, right? So Han and Chewie, we can talk about a bit, and also 3PO and R2. 3PO and R2, Lucas famously said, like, the story of Star Wars is going to always be through their eyes, right? And they're like in basically almost every movie. Yeah. So, not the shows, obviously, anymore, and everything's been expanded. So, what are your guys' thoughts on 3PO and R2? Now, my earliest memories, I'm older here, but like as a kid, like with Empire Strikes Back, and seeing 3PO and R2 like running down the hallways and stuff like that, just gets that nostalgia factor for me. And then also the storybook, when you'd have, as a kid, they'd have the storybook with 3PO reading the pages, and turn the page with R2D2. Very good. So.
For me, I like they still get that like pop reaction out of me when they like make little sparing like cameos like here and there. Like we see them in Rebels. Yes, I've seen that episode. Good job in Rebels. Recently in Ahsoka, C-3PO shows up. Seen R2 show up a bunch of times in Mandalorian and things like that. And it's always like oh yeah, like this is
the icons.
This is awesome. This is like Star Wars again. I mean, it's always Star Wars. You know what I mean? It's like it takes me back to like the original film for like a second.
Yeah.
Anytime those characters show up in any capacity. I don't know.
Right?
I'll say, I think, when I think about R2 and 3PO, the first thing that really comes to my mind is their banter on Hoth when they're going down the hallway. And to me, like, again, that's kind of, I don't know what this is about my friendships, where I'm just always like bantering back and forth, or even just kind of, making fun of each other, and so I do that a lot with you, Kevin. Just back and forth.
Have you guys seen Empire Strikes Back with like a live opening night crowd, like when they play it back at the AMC theaters? You forget how funny of a movie that is. Like the band, like you could use a good kiss. I remember seeing that when they were marching to The Force Awakens, and I got like a huge laugh. And you just remember like, man, the writing was so good, and it's like fun scene. And like I said, circulating it back to celebrate the love, seeing it with your fellow fans. I feel bad that we forgot about BB-8 in this thing. I mean, BB-8 and Rey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not BB-8 and Poe?
Yeah.
Well, Rey was always fixing his little antenna. Poe didn't care about his antenna.
What do you mean Poe cared when like
Poe
she dropped a tree on him?
She did drop a tree on him.
But Poe gave him like a belly rub, when
You see that? Did you see when Poe bit his lower lip when he was looking at BB-8? I'm just saying. And finally, we will finish with Han and Chewie. We all said it in the very beginning of this show. I think we knew that would be the end all be all. The funny thing about their first meeting is that Chewie's trying to kill him, which is great. That's how it always happens, right? I remember seeing that in the theater, and like I guess I was just like, as you can see tonight, sometimes it takes me a while to get to something. I didn't realize it was Chewie at first. Like I didn't realize that we were about to see the Chewie Han meeting. Like I was like, uh-oh, what is this, a Rancor in there, or like a mini Rancor? And so when Chewie comes out, I just thought that was funny. And I any solo Star Wars fans here? I love that movie so dearly. Yeah, so good. One of the best soundtracks of all the movies too. I happen to think. But yeah, Han and Chewie, you got to see their origins there, how they met. But you didn't even need. It's a great movie, but I'm saying it existed even before that with the original trilogy, Empire, and Return of the Jedi.
So wait, Han and Chewie is your top duo?
I would think that Han and Chewie would be my number one. How about you?
I'm actually going to go R2 and 3PO.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was gonna do Han and Chewie.
You can do whatever you want.
But now
What say you? Let's try this. This is gonna fail miserably. By level of applause, who chooses? Oh yeah, raise your hand. I want to hear you guys clap. Come on. Han and Chewie. Okay. Okay. Count that, Frank. You get it? Good. 3PO and R2. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, I think Han and Chewie took it, but
it's close though.
Hipster and
I
Anakin.
see you out there, R2, 3PO. Brandon, you gonna close us out?
Yeah, I guess so. So Han and Chewie number 1, C-3PO R2. What's our third one, Frank? Anakin and Snips?
Yes.
Yes. Alrighty, sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us here at the beautiful Los Angeles Comic-Con. in the wonderful downtown live area. No, it's been great. Sorry, did you want to say something?
Are you trying to do the announcer voice?
Yeah, I was trying to steal your thunder.
No, you go ahead. Thank you for coming to the Comic-Con Podcast Studios Live.
We have been Scoundrels Inc. I am Brandon Hanna. This is Frank Janish and Kevin Smith.
You can find us on Spotify and
Apple Podcasts.
you do that. You
Everywhere
always do that
possible.
spiel. That's your spiel. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So how does this normally go? You can find us on Apple.
It's your
But-
show. How do you not know this?
I usually read it. Apple, Spotify. You can find us on all social medias at Scoundrels Inc. as well as on YouTube. So if you want to follow us over there, hear more ridiculous banter and stories from
And
us.
if you hated us, you can go there and then block us so we won't show up on your feed.
There you
So
go.
either way, you should go to the page and do one or the other.
There you go.
Scoundrels Inc. Go on over there, leave a nasty comment, hit the dislike button, tell all your friends to not follow us. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun. We love Star Wars. We love each other sometimes. And we love all of you, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Scoundrel. Scoundrel. I like the sound of that.